Hi, Kelly. It's Ted. How are you?
Good. How are you, Ted?
Good, thanks. Thanks for being with us.
Oh, thanks for letting me to speak with you a little bit.
But of course.
Well, I had a couple questions. What would you're the host of Chopped.
Yes.
And you get to see these contestants sweat it out every week.
I sweat with them, by the way. It's very hot. Very, very, very hot.
Well, what would you least like to see in the basket if you were competing?
Oh, that's a good question. What would I least like? I guess sort of generally what I would least like to see in a mystery basket on Chopped would be processed foods, especially sort of junky, low quality foods with like lots of colorings and preservatives in them. I really like to cook from scratch with honest, real stuff. So, a bag of cheese puffs would probably kind of depress me a little bit, but I wouldn't complain. I would come up with something.
All right. And you're also the author of The Food You Want to Eat, 100 Smart, Simple Recipes. So what dishes, kind of the opposite of cheese puffs, what are the dishes that jump out at you as simple, classic favorites?
Are you thinking, well, we're primarily talking about holiday entertaining today, so I guess with that little nip in the air, I'm starting to think about, roasting things, roasting chickens and turkeys and braising and doing pork dishes. And regrettably, I'm sad to say the season of tomatoes and asparagus is gone. Oh, I hate saying that. I'm going to have to stop saying that. I'm going to depress myself. But the good news is, it's time to roast giant hunks of meat and make potato dishes and gratins and all that wonderful stuff that we make when it's chilly out, and frost the windows over and pour a glass of wine. And also, I have a recipe for a really great warming holiday coffee drink that I'd like to tell you about, if I may.
Oh, that would be great.
So Nespresso has just launched their newest machine. It's called the Latissima Plus, and I'm looking at it right here. It's a machine that with one touch will make you a cappuccino, which is really an amazing thing. The recipe for the holiday drink is simple and really creative, and I think really kind of wonderful. You take an apple ginger herbal tea bag and put it in an espresso cup, a cappuccino cup, and then push the cappuccino button. And and you add a couple teaspoons of maple syrup. And what you get is this beautiful sort of aromatic, it just says fall, apple, ginger, and it really works beautifully with the coffee. And then the foam on the top just gives it that luxurious texture. It's really, really lovely. And the Latissima Plus does this with literally one touch, a single button for a cappuccino. So anybody can be a barista.
That sounds delicious.
Don't you think? I'm really proud of that.
Yeah, that's great. And with the holidays right around the corner, maybe you can offer some party-worthy dishes or entertaining tips for people that are starting to get in that mindset.
Sure. Overall, the number one thing I think that people make a mistake with when it comes to holiday entertaining is feeling like they have to do so much, feeling that they have to completely decorate the house and make 97 different side dishes and canapes and hors d'oeuvres and fancy fussy desserts. I try to remind people that the point is getting together with family and friends, and not so much impressing people that you're the second coming of Martha Stewart. It's a time to spend time together, not to stress out and spend too much money and get all worked up. I think a little bit of decoration can be handled really easily with bowls of fruit, lemons, pomegranates, apples are all beautiful. We have gourds here, which of course really say Thanksgiving and fall. Branches from trees in your yard put in large glass vases. Autumn leaves sprinkled on a table. It really doesn't take that much to sort of set that tone. Candles, lots of candles, especially those little votives that are really inexpensive and really can transform a room into something kind of magic looking. That's the kind of mindset that I try to keep in place when I'm entertaining for the holidays. I don't need something else to stress me out.
Well, you have a very busy schedule. I mean, you have so many shows, and you're a cookbook author and everything else, and I noticed that you are also going to be in Philly October 21st to the 23rd for Taste, the Festival of Food, Wine, and Spirits.
That's right.
Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Sure. I'm going to be talking about food and wine pairing, and I'll demonstrate a couple of recipes. And I guess I don't need to do cheesesteaks because they already know how to do that. I'm not sure which recipe it will be, but yeah, it's something I really enjoy doing. I love talking about, I don't cook on Chopped, and I don't want to cook on Chopped, but I love to cook. I cook probably 4 or 5 nights a week when I'm not in production. So I really enjoy kind of trying to break down barriers for people in terms of food and wine pairing, because a lot of people still find that really mysterious and intimidating, and it doesn't have to be. It really, wine really enhances your food life immeasurably, and there are so many people that have never even tasted it. So it's a fun message to take to people. I would make the point that actually great coffee is a similar sort of experience. If you look at this range of styles and blends that an espresso has, one of the great advantages, I think, of using a capsule-based machine, specifically this one, is that you've got something like 16 different blends and varietals available, so everybody can have exactly the type of coffee they want. It's not just regular and decaf. It's, do you want one from East Africa, or do you want one from South America? Do you want a bold roast? Do you want a light roast? It's all available for you.
Any favorites?
My favorite is probably the Vivolto, which is a longo style, which means it's a little taller than an espresso, but still bold. And actually, the Vivolto is a blend of Arabica beans from East Africa and from South America, with some floral notes, but a lot of body. And I need a coffee that's got some oomph to it. It's just the style that I like. French roast being another one.
Okay. Last question, anything in the works for you, any new projects that you're willing to share with our readers?
Absolutely. I have a new cookbook coming out in May called In My Kitchen, which was written, tested, and photographed in my kitchen, so I guess that's a good title. And the whole idea is each recipe in the book was a recipe in which I discovered something new in my cooking life, something I didn't know. For example, the power of toasting food, not just making toast, not just bread, but toasting seeds and spices and even pasta. Orzo or other sorts of, or pearl couscous, if you toast it in a dry pan before you boil it, it browns and it gets kind of a nutty flavor. And toasting is a hugely wonderful and sort of, I think, underappreciated part of cooking. And then we go back into the studio in February to make more Chopped. So apparently I'm still employed, against all odds.
Yeah, well, that's great. I enjoy your show so much, and thank you for taking time out to speak with us and share a little bit about yourself with the readers of the Express-Times and lehighvalleylive.com. And I will let you get back to your busy shooting schedule.
Well, thank you very much for being with us. It was great talking to you.
You too.
Take care.
All right, bye.
Bye-bye.